Hi everyone, welcome to this BIM Track webinar called The Basics. This webinar is intended for new users or future users. So active users might find interesting information but should visit our help center accessible from our website bimtrack.co to learn more about advanced features. Okay, right. Let's begin. Here's a short presentation of the GoToMeeting functionalities before we start. Please save your questions for the end of the presentation. We'll take some time to answer it. All right. The webinar should normally last about 30 minutes. And I scheduled, again, like I said, I scheduled some time at the end for questions, so save it for later. It will be recorded and made available on our YouTube channel in a couple of days after the presentation. My name is Christian. I'm a Customer Success Director at BIM Track. Before joining the team, I was a project manager for an international airport for 10 years, so I have an important project background. I'm also involved with the Canadian BIM Council, known as CanBIM, as a board member. All right, so let's start right away. First off, what makes a successful project? Apart from good technical skills, I've identified 4 pillars to a successful project. First, communications are very important. Most people take things for granted because of the experience they have and because they imagine that other people will act in a certain way. This results in lots of waiting or rework. Same thing for data accessibility. If the information is not available, people will assume an answer or put their work aside until they get the answer. Delaying tasks is very inefficient. When you don't put in place a system to track problems and questions, people get overwhelmed by the magnitude of the things to solve. Doubt and confusion kicks in, and a lot of energy is wasted. Lastly, understanding the background behind an issue is essential to learn from our mistakes, adapt our methods, and improve our project execution. Many different means of communication exist today. Haven't you heard there's nothing better than a phone call to solve a problem? Yes, it's true, but people tend to forget to share the information at the end and the evolution of the discussion with other colleagues. So when the problem comes again, the same discussions happen over and over again. Emails are a very good way to communicate, but it's not a management tool. We get so many emails in a day that it can take an hour or 2 every day to read all of our emails, answer, and classify them. Plus, you have to take notes on the side to remember what you have to do. As for other communication methods, letters are for lawyers and faxes from the 20th century. These communication methods have 2 things in common. They have poor management capacities and they are not linked with 3D models. In a project involving 3D modeling and coordination, whether it's during the design or during the pre-construction phase, a lot of communications have to take place and time is limited. All right. Let's have a look at things that have to be tracked during the design and construction process and in between. First, during the design phase, there's a cycle that brings together the client, architect, engineers, maybe a construction manager, and other consultants. At this stage, the team have to communicate clashes, requests, missing information, code non-compliance, unmet scope requirements, and other model-related issues. Then, during the construction phase, the general contractor or construction manager begin the coordination to actually build what was intended during the design phase. They also have a lot of model-related issues to share and track, such as clashes, propositions, requirements, validation. They have to flag missing information in the design, requests, and much more. The most important element to track because of contractual implications are the communications between the design team and construction teams, such as requests for information, replacement submittals, constructability issues, conformity issues, etc. But don't be confused. Detecting issues with clash detection or with automated rules is not the same thing as issue management. Most tools are designed to detect issues but have poor management features to have those issues solved in time. And clash avoidance doesn't mean models are issues free. All right, this is the typical model coordination workflow. First, the BIM modelers are creating models in their favorite software. Then they share the models with the BIM managers and coordinators. The BIM managers or coordinators are merging the models. They inspect the models for quality assurance, execute a clash analysis, and verify information. They compile the comments in a report and share the report with other stakeholders. Those stakeholders read, annotate, and share the reports back to the BIM modelers to correct the models using their authoring software. Finally, the modelers are returning the models to the data sharing environment with corrected or not issues. They have to annotate the report if they want to communicate back the action they did. Because different versions of the same information could coexist in different mailboxes and locations, it's obvious that information might be lost or produced twice in this process and lead to late schedule or cost overrun. The problem with typical model coordination workflows are that there is no link with the models. Reports contains only textual descriptions of the issue. Valuable time is wasted searching for the issues in the models. There is multiple ways and formats to share the information. It's hard to follow and control the history of the issues. You end up working in silos, and there's a higher risk of losing the control over the process. I hear you say, we use viewpoints with Navisworks to share issues in our models. Isn't it enough? First, the viewpoints method is a file-based process which requires file management. This results in delayed communications, and it can be very harmful in a fast-track project. File-based means status of viewpoints don't change instantly, and you might both be working on the same issues at the same time. It also means no or poor reporting capabilities. It can require the use of overperformance software, which means expensive, just to see the issues. Interoperability between different platforms is not a given there, and it doesn't provide a web-based universal access. Alright, so BIM Track improves the workflow by managing the issues. Again, the BIM modelers create the models and share with the BIM managers and coordinators. They in turn merge the models, inspect it for quality assurance, execute clash analysis, verify information, and so on. They both publish issues directly to BIM Track, and both have instant access to it. Now with BIM Track, the rest of the project team can access the issue list through the web browser, using mobile devices or a computer without the need to download and install any software. In this example, the project manager can log in BIM Track, select the project, and filter to get only the issues that are relevant to him at this moment in time, such as clashes in preparation for a meeting. Maybe he wants to see the clash in 3D while staying in the browse environment. He can have a look at different views that were created by the project coordinators, or maybe head directly to the issue list to find the clashes he wants to see. The issues can also be accessed directly from there to add a comment, an attachment, or to change one of the attributes. Before leaving BIM Track, the project manager can review the global metrics of the project or just have a look at the issues progression in preparation for an upcoming milestone. But wait, the best comes with the add-ins we developed for Revit, Navisworks, and Tekla. It allows the users to stay in context for optimum focus and efficiency. Here is a more detailed demonstration of the add-in use. The user first has to log in with his email address and select relevant hub and project. BIM Track pulls the issues from the cloud for the users. He can now filter from the many different attributes, such as clashes that would need a meeting, then select a clash for further investigation. BIM Track adds a sphere at the clash pinpoint position to help identify clash. Now in Revit, the issues can also automatically pulled from the cloud. Another user can filter the issues list and access the same issues. By clicking on View and Model, a 3D view appears with the same clash spheres as in Navisworks. The selection box from Revit allows users to isolate the clash itself. The sphere can be removed if needed, and the user can add a comment and a screen capture to the issue directly from the BIM Track add-in. Automatically, the information is updated in Navisworks, Tekla, and web interface for all users. Because of the filters, now the issues don't meet the issues that don't meet the filter selection disappears from the list. So you might wonder, what is the information that is exchanged between the different platforms through the cloud? Well, in fact, an issue is a message format just like the BCF. BCF means BIM Collaboration Format, and our issues are structured around this BCF format. BCF was created by Building Smart International to provide interoperability with software from different vendors. Quickly, a BCF contains geo-reference coordinates and orientation viewpoints. Images, screenshots taken at issue creation, and also attributes such as identification, title, description, designation, etc. In addition to the BIM Track add-ins that are directly integrated in Revit, Tekla, and Navisworks, BIM Track can integrate in an open BIM workflow such as this. First, modeling can be done with software that might not be from the same vendors because users have different needs. Once they are ready to share their models, they export it as IFC file format. Upload the IFC to BIM Track where they can be downloaded for model review. Once the model review is done, the problem issues can be imported to BIM Track for management and then exported back to the modeling software. As you can see, it allows interoperability between a variety of software. Vectorworks, DDS-CAD, ArchiCAD, Calibri, Tekla BIM Site, and others are not mentioned here like Aconex have BCS file-based communications. With Revit and Navisworks and Tekla, plus the different browsers, the issues are exchanged directly through the cloud and instantaneously updated. We call this native links. So issue tracking is all about data. Our unique concept allows users to tag the issues with many different attributes or metadata to filter from. Okay, so let me show you. Here, if you select an issue, each issue has a unique ID number, a title, a description, a screenshot, and different metadata such as status, type, priority, label, zone, phases. So zones, phases, and assigned to filter attributes, due dates, issue group, team access for visibility, and also a notify to follow an issue's evolution. Comments are also available. You can add attachment of any type of document and review the issue history with the old and the new value. So if I save this, comments, add a comment, add an attachment, and review the history of the issue. Apart from clash publication from Navisworks, an issue can be created in a different platform and accessed instantly in the others. It can be created, an issue can be created in the issue dashboard and accessed in Revit. It can be created in Navisworks and accessed in issue dashboard. It can be created in Tekla to Tekla and all other possibilities. Here is an example of how to create issues. From Navisworks, you can use create issue. You can use the create issue button. Create the issue and save it. From Revit, you can also create an issue with the issue button with the same way with Tekla. If you use a section box like this, make sure the save view state is active. You can also create an issue directly from the issue dashboard. Note that in that case, no viewpoint is attached to the issue, but you'll be able to add a viewpoint later from the add-ins. Type in the title information and save that. Finally, from the 3D viewer, you can also create issues. In the end, the database is updated and all issues become available across all platforms instantaneously. Before publishing to BIM Track, make sure to analyze and organize your clashes in Navisworks with the Clash to Issue feature. So, update your clash tests, see the results, group your clashes. You can spend an extra minute to reorient the clash viewpoints, so it will help when you're going to review the clashes in Revit or in Navisworks. Then modify the clash group name, because once published, the issue title will be the clash group name. Then use the Clash to Issue features to publish that clash group to BIM Track. Discard the information window explaining the new functionality and select the clash test and clash status to export. Don't publish all new clash and active clashes because you will end up with too many clashes, too many issues. You can also add more details to this description field of the issue, then assign the different attributes to create the issue. Publish that. And as you can see, it created a single issue with multiple viewpoints, one each for each clash and one for the group of clashes. Review them just by clicking View and Model. It's also possible to add new viewpoints to an existing issue. First, adjust your view and position up in your model in the direction you wish to save. Then right-click on the issue and select Viewpoint, and then Add from Current View. You can now toggle between both viewpoints for the same issue. In the Edit menu, you can change the primary viewpoint from one to the other or delete one of the viewpoints. Once published to BIM Track, you can now navigate the different viewpoints of an issue. Sometimes you realize that a viewpoint doesn't show the real problem you're trying to solve. In this example, because it's a published clashes to BIM Track, you can activate the clash pinpoint spheres and fit a section box around it. Then, reorient your model and update the viewpoint with the view state active to record the section box. Once it's done, you'll notice the new thumbnail updated, and if you use the restore view state function with a right click, you'll bring back the same view state. So update that and validate that it worked. Right click, restore view state. Now let me present to you our online 3D viewer. It makes BIM models accessible to all stakeholders in the project. You can create custom views to display different informations, such as slab schedules, mechanical systems, and equipment. When you select an element in your model, you'll have access to the properties of that element. You can also change appearance of elements if needed. Section box and section planes are also available. Finally, the issues are accessible through this web interface, and you can even create new issues from the web viewer. They will appear right away in Navisworks, Revit, and Tekla. In the project menu, you can also access the metrics page. From there, select the type of data you want to filter from and click on the graphic to dig down and find the exact information you're looking for. By status, and click on a status to dig down the information. You can also see a graphic with the total number of issues created versus the total number of issues closed. This is very useful for project managers or non-BIM experimented stakeholders to understand the evolution of the coordination. From the report menu, you can filter to report only a particular search set, or even use presets recorded as templates. Once the filters are selected, hit print and you'll get a nice and clean report you can print or save to PDF. Okay, now that the demonstration is done, you probably wonder, how does it work with users? A user is an individual that logs in with his email address and password. Hub users can be assigned to different projects at any time. Number of projects and number of issues are unlimited with BIM Track. And during your project, you can remove or replace users from your hub and your projects. In your projects, users can have different roles: administrators, editors, or readers. Administrators can add or can modify project settings. They can also go into the archived issues, restore issues, or delete permanently issues. They can also manage users adding or replacing users. Editors can access the issues, access the 3D viewer, the reports and metrics, and they can modify the attributes and comments. Readers can only read and see the information, see the issues in the 3D model and the metrics. To add a project, you need to be the hub administrator. Click on the Add Project from the project dashboard. The project will be created and you'll be redirected to the project settings page. Enter the project's name. Add an image as a project avatar if you want. And create the different teams that will be used for filtering, but also for issue visibility and status restriction. Finally, customize the different attributes such as zones, phases, status, labels, and priorities. To summarize BIM Track's main characteristics, I would say it's an issue management platform with metadata. It's a multi-platform solution linking different AEC software using OpenBIM. It's in-context issue identification and solving. It's SaaS, so on-demand, easy, web and cloud with no software installation. It opens BIM management to everyone involved in the project. It's a customizable by project. And finally, it's a simple and intuitive solution. Okay, it's all nice, but why BIM Track? Well, with BIM Track, you get instant update of the issues. Users never leave their day-to-day tools. The many attributes or metadata allow for efficient organization and time saved. And finally, the trackability and history of issues is a facilitator for conflictual relations or possible liability issues. So what's next? So this is just a small overview of what's coming next, but we are working actively on a BCF management in a connection with Solibri. Next will be the direct integration or model upload from Revit to BIM Track and model versioning in our viewer. At the same time are coming many different improvements for our online 3D viewer with progressive rendering and faster loading. Very soon, we'll release a new version with Navisworks section planes supported for issues, and a lot more to come in the future. Alright, you need more information. Visit our website to learn more about BIM Track and find a link to our help center. Then, you can also visit our YouTube channel or subscribe to our different LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook accounts. You can read our blog posts or email me directly. And when you see this icon appear in the corner of the web interface, you can chat with us directly from there, get updates and useful information.